grab that.
Oh shit.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to Wally's Welding World. I'm the Weld Professor, and today I'm just rolling out a 300-pound 12-inch onto reducer. This is actually a 12 to 10. You can see how tight my fit is. Come over here and show how tight that fit is. You can see where I wedged it right there. I had to wedge it to help it a little bit. Shine in on there that bead in it. So we're gonna get a little bit of video of this. Let's put this bead in. Don't let the bead hit my screen. I don't have a protector on it. Back up though, don't that bead get rooted in there. Now this is easy because this is a rollout, guys. It's super easy. I like to go until my rod's, you know, what they call smoking the rod. Can you help it? Alright, so we're going to go over some kind of questions, what people have been asking me. So you'll see here on my remote, it says I'm 40 amps. We'll come up to my machine real quick. And you can see right here, it's 144 amps. So I'm beading at 144 amps with a 1/8 rod. Come over here, Dylan. And something that I'm always asked is, how do I know if I'm getting in there? Well, let's kind of draw you a picture. Come over here, Dylan. So say that's your, I know it's not the best 2 lines. Here, just these 2 lines. So say that's your bevel, guys, and you fire up and you create that hole and you start dragging that rod, right? And you're seeing it fill. Well, what you need to understand is that puddle needs to be closing up back here as your rod's up here dragging. So you should have a little bit of space like that behind your welding rod as you're dragging it. And you'll see the puddle kind of doing a little dance. It's what they call a dancing puddle. So that puddle should be dancing. If that puddle's back there kind of dancing, you see it tying in side to side, all right? Now, the moment it stops tying in, you'll see it just kind of drag to one side. And you'll see this other side where your rod will start curling up. And it's fingernailing. And that's what you need to pay attention about is the puddle either dancing behind you or it's cutting to one side. It's got to be dancing from both side to side to side on that, in between those bevels. Now there's 2 ways to put your bead in. There's floating your bead and there's pressure behind your bead. Pressure behind your bead is when the rod is flexed and you see that bend. That's pressure behind the rod. If there's no pressure behind the rod, you're floating the bead in. And the difference between floating it in and having pressure behind it is if you're floating it in, it's probably a wider gap. So on a wider gap, you got to float it in. On a tight gap, you have to utilize a little bit of pressure, just enough pressure for that rod to bend. That's all the pressure you need to get that to pop a hole in there. You see what kind of heat I'm running, and you see what kind of gap I got going. That's where it's at. I'm making sure that that puddle is behind me, and I'm watching it dance, and I'm watching it close in. All right, guys, so there's some of the important things I wanted to touch bases on. This is Wally's Welding World. I'm the Weld Professor. We'll wrap you later.